The misunderstanding. The first time she saw a human, she was sure he had come to eat her. The alien girl had heard the stories since childhood. Around the fires of her village, the elders would whisper warnings. The humans are predators. They eat flesh, they eat beasts, and when they are hungry, they eat more than food. They will eat us too. So when she saw the human soldier in the colony fields, tall and armed, she froze in fear. His eyes looked sharp, his movements heavy. His hands carried strange tools. She pressed herself against the trees, heart racing. This is it. He has found me. But instead of attacking, he knelt down, opened a small pack, and pulled out bread. The first encounter. The human soldier's name was Ethan Cole. He had been assigned to patrol the colony's border, where the human outpost touched alien villages. Most soldiers saw aliens as threats. But Ethan was different. That day, when he spotted the girl watching him, he did not raise his weapon. He simply sat on the ground, tore the bread in half, and placed one piece on a rock between them. The girl's eyes widened. Was this a trick? She remembered the words of the elders. Humans lure prey with kindness, then strike. Her stomach twisted with fear and hunger. Slowly, she stepped closer, her glowing blue skin catching the sunlight. Ethan stayed still. Hands open, voice calm. It's food, not poison. Eat. The girl flinched at the sound of his language. His voice was low, strange, but not cruel. She reached for the bread, trembling. For the first time, she tasted human food, and when she chewed, her eyes widened again, not in terror, but in surprise. It was soft, warm, strange, and not deadly. The human only smiled. See? I didn't eat you. I shared. But to her, this kindness was even more terrifying, because she had been certain humans only devoured. The fear of legends. That night, she returned to her village. The other aliens gathered close as she whispered what she had seen. He gave me food, she said. The elders shook their heads. Trickery. He feeds you today, but tomorrow he will feed on you. Humans do not give without taking. The girl lay awake, staring at the stars. Her people had always feared humans, but now doubt burned inside her. She remembered his calm eyes, his steady voice, and the way he never lifted his weapon. Could the elders be wrong, or was she already falling into a predator's trap? A second meeting. The next day, she saw him again. Ethan was near the same fields, fixing a broken wire along the fence. She stayed hidden at first, watching. When he spotted her in the trees, he didn't chase. He simply raised a hand in greeting, then he set something else on the rock, an apple this time, red and shining. Her stomach growled. Against her better judgment, she stepped forward. Why? She whispered in her own tongue, her voice trembling. Why give me this? Ethan tilted his head. He didn't understand her words, but he understood her fear. He tapped his chest lightly. Friend, he said. The word meant nothing to her, but the tone, soft, steady, echoed in her ears. She took the apple. This time she didn't run. The suspicion days passed, and their strange meetings continued. Ethan brought small pieces of food, and the alien girl cautiously accepted them. She never spoke much, but her eyes studied him constantly. Still, her fear never fully left. Sometimes, when Ethan smiled, she imagined sharp teeth hidden behind his lips. Sometimes, when he stood too close, her body tensed, expecting claws. But the attack never came. Instead, he showed her how to light fire with a spark tool. He showed her how to make water clean with a filter. He even laughed once when she mimicked his movements, clumsy but curious. And slowly, a dangerous thought crept into her mind. Maybe he does not want to eat me. Maybe he is different. The hook one evening, as the twin moons rose over the colony, the girl lingered longer than usual. Ethan sat quietly, carving shapes into wood with a small knife. She watched, fascinated, until finally she dared to speak a single word in his language. Why? Ethan looked up surprised. Why what? She pointed at the food he had left for her, then at herself. Ethan's expression softened. He placed the knife down and said simply, "Because no one should starve. Not even you." Her heart pounded. His words made little sense to her, but the meaning was clear. He did not see her as prey. For the first time she let herself believe. But belief is dangerous, because what she didn't know was this. Both their worlds were watching, and neither side would forgive what was beginning between them. The awkward bond. The girl did not know his name. To her, he was simply the human, the one who fed instead of devoured, the one who sat quietly by the fence when he could have chased her away, but her people warned her again and again, "Do not trust the human. His kindness is bait, his smile is teeth." Still, she kept returning. Learning fire one evening, the human soldier, Ethan, showed her something new. He struck a small tool together, sparks flying. In seconds, a small flame danced on a stick. The girl's eyes widened. Fire was not new to her people, but the way he controlled it so easily seemed like magic. She crouched close, watching his steady hands. Ethan noticed her fascination. He smiled faintly and pushed the tool toward her. "Try." Her glowing blue fingers hesitated, then copied his movements. The sparks came, weak at first. She gasped when the flame finally appeared, flickering in her hand. For the first time she laughed. Not out of mockery, but pure surprise. Ethan's heart thumped. The sound was strange but beautiful, like crystal breaking in song. But as quickly as it came, her laugh died. She pulled her hand back, hiding the spark. Fear returned to her eyes. Why was she laughing with a predator? Whispers in the colony. The next day, Ethan heard whispers among his own soldiers. "Cole's been seen near the alien quarter again. He's feeding them, they say. Dangerous. He'll get himself killed, or worse, compromised." Captain Rourke's voice was sharp when he called Ethan in. "Stay away from the aliens. They are not your friends. They are not like us. Understand?" Ethan saluted, but his mind wandered back to her eyes, her laughter. He could not walk away. Not now. Shared food later that week, Ethan brought not bread, not fruit, but something warm. A small pot of stew steaming in the evening air. The girl watched suspiciously as he placed it on the rock. "Eat," he said. "Together." She tilted her head. "Together." He dipped his spoon, ate first, then set it down. Slowly she mimicked him, her glowing fingers awkward around the spoon. She tasted, then froze. Her eyes widened. She had never known such flavor. Heat, spice, warmth. It filled her chest like fire. Ethan chuckled softly. "Good?" She did not understand the word, but she understood his smile. And for the first time she smiled back. The rumors in her village. Back in her village, her absence was noticed. The elders frowned when they smelled human food on her breath. "You have been with him," they accused. Her silence was answer enough. "Foolish child. Humans do not give without reason. If he feeds you, it is because he waits to feed on you." She wanted to argue, but her voice failed. Was that true? Or was her heart deceiving her? Shadows of suspicion. One night, Ethan worked late repairing the fence lights. The girl appeared again, standing at the edge of the trees. She spoke, her words, broken, struggling in his tongue. "Why? Give." Ethan wiped sweat from his brow. His voice was steady. "Because no one else will." She stepped closer, closer than ever before. The moonlight touched her glowing skin, her eyes burning like twin stars. For the first time, he saw her not as alien but as something fragile. Yet before either of them could speak again, a shadow passed across the ridge. A soldier. Watching. Ethan's stomach twisted. If they had seen her, if they reported this, everything would end. He grabbed her wrist gently. "Go. Now." She pulled back, confused, but obeyed, vanishing into the trees like smoke. Ethan stood alone under the watchful moon, heart hammering. He knew the whispers would grow louder, and he knew deep down this bond was becoming something dangerous. The hook back in her hiding place, the girl lay awake, her thoughts racing. She expected humans to be predators, but this one, this strange, quiet soldier was feeding her, teaching her, protecting her. Why, when he touched her wrist, did her skin burn with warmth instead of fear? She whispered to herself, the words trembling in the dark. He does not eat me, but he changes me. She did not yet know how right she was, because the bond between them was already forming. And soon, both their worlds would burn for it. Secrets in the dark. The nights were growing colder, but Ethan felt a strange heat every time he met her. The alien girl no longer flinched when he offered food, no longer vanished when soldiers walked nearby. Now she lingered, asking questions in her broken voice, trying to learn his words. Her curiosity was dangerous, and so was his. The glow at midnight. It was midnight when Ethan saw it first. He had left his patrol, wandering near the trees where she usually appeared. The colony slept, silent, except for the hum of fences. Then, light. A soft blue glow flickered. Between the trees, pulsing like a heartbeat, Ethan followed, careful, his boots silent in the sand. And there she was. The girl stood alone in a clearing, her silver hair floating as if touched by invisible wind. Her skin glowed brighter than ever, streams of light running across her arms. Her eyes burned like stars. Ethan froze. She was beautiful, yes, but terrifying. The glow wasn't gentle, it was power, raw and untamed. She didn't see him at first. She whispered words in her own language, clutching her chest as if fighting. Something deep inside, then she turned and gasped when she saw him. The hidden truth. You, she whispered. Her voice shook. You should not see. Ethan stepped closer, ignoring the fear rising in his throat. What is this? What's happening to you? Her glowing hands trembled. She looked away. My people, we fear you, because long ago humans eat us, not flesh, not body, but soul. Ethan's chest tightened. That's just stories. Her burning eyes snapped back to him. Not story. Truth. In ancient wars, humans bound with us took power, left us broken. Silence fell heavy. Ethan's mind raced. Could that be why the colony feared bonds? Why her people whispered warnings? She lowered her voice, trembling. This glow. It is my season. Power grows. If not controlled, it destroys me, and all near me. Ethan's blood ran cold. So the elders were right. She wasn't just dangerous. She was unstable, Ethan's choice. She stepped back, her glow dimming. Now you see truth. Go. Leave me. Ethan shook his head. If it's killing you, you need help. Her lips curled into something between anger and sorrow. Help? Humans help by chains, by blades. Ethan clenched his fists. Not me. Her eyes softened for just a moment, but then the light surged in her chest again and she gasped, dropping to her knees. Ethan rushed forward, grabbing her arms. Her skin burned with heat, but he didn't let go. Tell me what to do. She shuddered, eyes glowing like fire. You cannot. Only bond can calm it. But bond is forbidden, dangerous. It will change you. Ethan swallowed hard. Then maybe it's already too late. The suspicion grows. The next morning, the colony buzzed with rumors. Soldiers had seen strange lights in the forest. Captain Rourke barked orders for tighter patrols. Something's out there, he growled, and I don't trust Cole's eyes to see it straight. Ethan kept silent, but his heart pounded. They were close to discovering her secret. And his. Meanwhile, in her village, whispers spread as well. Elders spoke of a girl glowing too brightly, lingering too often near the humans. She is tainted, they warned. The human will consume her. She will bring ruin upon us all. 2 worlds, Two sets of eyes, both watching, both waiting for them to slip. The hook that night, Ethan found her again in the clearing. Her glow was weaker, flickering, but her eyes held a sharp fire. "You should not come," she whispered. "If they find us together, they will kill you." Ethan's voice was low, steady. "Then let them. I'd rather die knowing the truth than live with lies." For the first time, she didn't argue. She only looked at him, her glow casting shadows across his face. And deep in that silence, something unspoken passed between them, something neither her people nor his would ever forgive. When fear turns to fire, the colony no longer whispered. "Now," they shouted. By dawn, rumors had turned into accusations. Soldiers claimed they had seen Ethan sneaking into the forests at night. Farmers spoke of glowing lights beyond the fences. And Captain Rourke, his voice sharp as a blade, summoned Ethan to the command hall. "You think we don't see it, Cole?" Rourke's glare cut into him. "You've been with one of them, feeding it, protecting it. Do you take us for fools?" Ethan stood tall, but his throat felt dry. "I patrol the borders, sir, that's all." Rourke slammed his fist on the table. "Don't lie to me. You've been seen with the alien girl. Whatever you're doing out there, it ends tonight. If you don't cut ties, you'll face charges of treason." The word hung heavy in the air. Treason. Ethan clenched his fists. He wanted to speak the truth, to say she wasn't what they thought, that she wasn't dangerous, except she was. And if they saw her power with their own eyes, they would kill her without hesitation. He gave no answer, and silence was its own confession. A glow in the forest. That night, Ethan returned to the clearing. The girl, Lyra, as she finally told him her name, was waiting. Her glow was brighter, unstable, flickering like fire caught in a storm. "They know," Ethan said, his voice low. "My people. They're watching us." Lyra's eyes darkened. "And mine watch me. They whisper that I am corrupted, that you have poisoned me." Ethan stepped closer. "They're wrong." She shook her head. "No, they are right." Before he could answer, her body convulsed, light bursting from her skin. The ground trembled, stones cracking beneath her feet. Ethan stumbled back, shielding his eyes. Her scream cut through the forest, a sound both beautiful and terrible. The trees shook, the air burned. When the glow faded, she collapsed, trembling, her breaths sharp and uneven. Ethan dropped beside her, gripping her shoulders. "You can't control it, can you?" Her eyes glistened, glowing weakly. "Not alone. The season grows stronger. If I fail, the fire consumes everything." The hunt begins back at the colony. Alarms blared. Patrols moved out with rifles ready. Rourke's orders were clear. Find the alien, eliminate the threat, and bring Cole, in dead or alive if necessary. At the same time, in her village, alien scouts lit their torches. The elders gave their decree. Bring the girl back or burn her if she resists. Two sides, two hunts, both racing toward the same target. And in the middle stood Ethan and Lyra, outcasts bound by something neither side could understand. Fire against. Fire. The hunters came at midnight. Human soldiers surrounded the clearing first, rifles aimed, voices shouting. "Step away from it, Cole. Don't make us shoot." Lyra rose slowly, her glow sparking dangerously. "They will kill you," she whispered. But before Ethan could speak, another sound cut through the night, the hiss of alien blades. Her own people emerged from the shadows, tall and furious, their glowing marks blazing. The two sides froze, staring at each other with hatred. For one heartbeat, silence held. Then someone fired. Gunshots and energy blades collided. The forest, exploding in fire and screams. Humans and aliens clashed violently, and in the center of the chaos stood Ethan and Lyra. The bond between them burned hotter than ever. The hook Ethan fired back at soldiers, his aim sharper, faster than ever before. He felt strength flooding his body, unnatural but undeniable. Lyra's power surged too, her glow shielding him from bullets, her energy cutting through enemy ranks. For one terrifying moment, human and alien hunters alike saw them not as prey, but as gods, and that terrified them more than anything. Do you see now? Lyra shouted through the storm, her voice breaking. They will never let us live, not your kind, not mine. We are cursed. Ethan's answer came with fire in his voice. Then let's curse them back. The clearing burned with unnatural light, and both armies recoiled at the sight. For the first time, Ethan understood. This was no longer fear. This was war. The first betrayal. The fire in the forest did not die with the battle. It spread. By morning, word raced through the colony. Sergeant Ethan Cole had sided with the alien. He felt it in the stares. He heard it in the whispers. Traitor. Alien lover. Dangerous. Every soldier he had once called a brother now looked at him like prey. And the worst part? He could not deny it. The commander's decree Captain Rourke summoned him to the hall. You've shamed this uniform, Cole, Rourke said, voice sharp as iron. I've given you chances. I've overlooked rumors. But now? Witnesses saw you protect it. You stood between your own people and the enemy. Ethan's jaw tightened. She's not the enemy. The commander's eyes narrowed. Then you are. Silence fell over the chamber. Soldiers watched from the shadows, their rifles ready. Rourke's words cut like a blade. You are stripped of rank. At dawn tomorrow you will stand trial for treason. The punishment is death. The cell, they locked him in an iron cell beneath the barracks. Ethan sat against the cold wall, hands chained, heart pounding. His thoughts raced, not of himself, but of Lyra. Had she escaped? Or would her own people drag her back in chains? He had chosen her, and now he would pay for it. Hours passed in silence, broken only by the distant sound of guards laughing. Ethan clenched, his fists. If this is my end, at least I'll face it knowing I didn't abandon her. But fate had other plans. The rescue midnight came with thunder. The ground trembled, the air burned, and then, light. The walls of the cell glowed, metal shaking as if struck by lightning. Guards shouted, rifles raised. But before they could act, a storm of blue energy tore through the doors, blasting them into molten shards. She stepped through the smoke. Lyra. Her eyes blazed, her silver hair flowing like fire. She moved with fury, her glowing hands ripping chains, apart as if they were paper. Ethan, she whispered, her voice trembling but fierce. They will kill you. He staggered to his feet, stunned. And now they'll kill you. She gripped his arm, her glow searing against his skin. Then, let them try. The betrayal alarms blared. Soldiers poured into the corridor, rifles blazing. Ethan grabbed a fallen weapon, firing back as Lyra's energy shield deflected bullets into smoke. Hold your fire! Rourke's voice thundered down the hall. He stepped forward, his weapon trained on Ethan. His face was hard, his eyes colder, then steel. Cole, he barked. Stand down, don't let it poison you further. Walk away and I'll spare your life. Ethan's breath caught. His commander, the man he had trusted for years, was offering him a chance. But then Rourke's next words froze his blood. Hand the alien over. We'll cut it open. Study it. That's all it's good for. Lyra stiffened, her glow flaring, in rage. Ethan felt her trembling, not from fear but fury. He looked back at Rourke. For a moment he saw not a leader, not a soldier, just another man blinded by fear and hate. Ethan lifted his weapon. No. Fire and blood. The corridor exploded into chaos. Gunfire roared, energy cracked, walls shook as Lyra unleashed her full power. Ethan fought beside her, his aim sharper than ever, his body filled with unnatural strength from the bond. Soldiers fell one by one. Some fled in terror. But Rourke stood firm, firing until the glow swallowed him whole. When the smoke cleared, Ethan and Lyra stood alone among the ruin. The barracks burned, alarms screamed, but they did not stop. They ran. The hook outside, the colony walls, the desert, stretched wide beneath the twin moons. Ethan's chest heaved, his body trembling with adrenaline. Lyra stood beside him, her glow softer now but her eyes fierce. You chose me, she whispered. Ethan looked at her, his voice low but certain. I'd choose you again. She closed her eyes as if his words were both a comfort and a curse. Behind them, the colony burned with anger. Ahead of them, the desert waited with silence. Both their peoples had turned against them, and now, hunted, by two worlds they had only each other. But the bond was growing, and Ethan could feel it. Something inside him was changing. Something that would not stop. The hunt and the war. The desert stretched endless beneath the twin moons. Wind howled through the canyons, carrying the smell of smoke from the burning colony. Behind them, Ethan and Lyra ran until their legs ached, until their breath came sharp and heavy. But no matter how far they went, they knew one truth. There would be no escape. Two worlds were chasing them. One called him traitor. The other called her corrupted, and neither would stop until they were dead. Hunters in the dark. The first to find them were the humans. Patrol crafts swept low across the dunes, their spotlights slicing through the night. Soldiers shouted through speakers, "Ethan Cole, surrender the alien. Come out, and you may yet live." Ethan pressed Lyra against the canyon wall, his rifle clutched tight. He whispered, "They won't stop, not until we make them." Her glowing eyes burned. "Then we fight." But before the humans could close in, shadows shifted on the opposite ridge. Alien hunters appeared, tall, glowing marks carved across their bodies, blades humming with deadly light. Lyra's face hardened. My people. Now the canyon was a trap, humans above, aliens below, and Ethan and Lyra caught in the middle. The clash of worlds. The first shot came from a human rifle. The first scream came from an alien throat. And then the canyon erupted. Gunfire tore through the air. Blades clashed with bullets, explosions echoed across the rocks. Humans and aliens who should have been fighting only them turned their fury on each other, old hatred spilling like blood. Ethan dragged Lyra into cover. His heart pounded as he realized the truth. They don't just want us. They want each other dead. Lyra's voice shook with fury. And they'll burn us with them. The bond pulsed inside them, hot and wild, demanding release. The power unleashed. When the hunters closed in, Ethan felt the fire surge in his veins. His hands glowed faintly. His vision sharpened until he could see every movement in the chaos. He leapt from cover, firing with unnatural precision. Each shot landed true, as if the bond itself guided his aim. Lyra stood beside him, her power roaring outward. Shields of light deflected bullets. Blasts of energy sent warriors flying. Together, they carved through the battlefield like fire through dry grass. For a moment, both armies faltered. Soldiers and hunters alike stared in horror, not at enemies, not at each other, but at them, a human and an alien, fighting as one. It was unnatural. It was unthinkable. It was terrifying. Betrayal in the shadows, but even as they fought, betrayal closed in. A human voice rang out from the cliffs. Captain Rourke. His rifle was raised, his eyes burning with hate. "Cole," he roared. "You're no soldier. You're no human. You're one of them." At the same moment, an alien elder stepped forward, her staff glowing. Her voice was sharp as ice. "Daughter of our blood, you shame us. You are no kin of ours." Ethan's chest tightened. Lyra's eyes trembled. Two voices, two sentences, the same verdict. Neither human, neither alien, only outcasts. The turning point. The bond flared violently, hotter than ever before. Ethan dropped to one knee, clutching his chest. The fire inside him roared, threatening to tear him apart. Lyra fell, beside him, gripping his arm. Her voice shook. "It grows too strong. If we resist, it will kill us." Ethan gasped, his body burning. "Then we stop resisting." She hesitated, only a heartbeat. Then she closed her eyes, pressing her forehead to his. The canyon exploded, with light. The hook. The bond erupted like a storm, waves of energy ripping through the battlefield. Guns melted, blades shattered. Soldiers and hunters alike were thrown back, their screams drowned in the thunder. When the light faded, silence fell. Ethan and Lyra stood alone, glowing like fire in the night. Their enemies lay broken, not dead, but defeated. For the first time, the two armies looked at them not with hatred but with fear, and fear was far more dangerous, because fear would not forgive, because fear would not forget. Ethan looked at Lyra, his voice steady, heavy with truth. This isn't a hunt anymore. Lyra's glowing eyes met his. No, this is war. The ultimate price. The desert was silent after the storm. Broken weapons lay scattered. Human soldiers crawled from the sand. Alien hunters staggered to their feet, their eyes wide with fear. None dared move closer. All of them stared at the two figures glowing in the center of the canyon. Ethan Cole, Lyra, one human, one alien, bound by something forbidden, powerful and unstoppable. The enemy in the sky. The silence did not last. The ground trembled. Shadows spread across the sand as black ships descended from the clouds. Smooth, faceless, inhuman. Not human, not alien. Something else. The true enemy. Columns of armored figures dropped from the ships, weapons glowing with cold fire. They moved without sound, without hesitation. Ethan's chest tightened. They're here. Lyra's eyes blazed. The ones who fed this war, the ones who made our people hate. Both armies, the humans and the aliens, looked up in shock, their old enemies forgotten in the face of this new terror. The battle ignites, the invaders struck without mercy. Beams of light tore through the canyon. Soldiers screamed. Hunters fell. For a moment, humans and aliens fought side by side, their hatred forgotten as survival took over. But even together, they faltered. The invaders were stronger, faster, endless. Ethan lifted his rifle, firing until it burned his hands. Lyra unleashed her light, shields cracking, blasts ripping enemies apart. But even their bond struggled against the tide. Still, they did not stop. They could not stop. The breaking point. The invaders raised a spire in the heart of the canyon, a black tower pulsing with energy. Its hum rattled Ethan's bones, its glow, feeding the enemy with every heartbeat. Lyra's face went pale. It is their core, their hive. Destroy it and we break them. Ethan's body shook with exhaustion. Then let's break it. They fought their way through the storm, side by side, every step a battle. Blood on his face, fire in her eyes. At last they reached the spire. But Lyra staggered, falling to her knees, her glow flickering like a dying star. Ethan grabbed her. Stay with me, don't you dare quit now. Her voice trembled. The bond, it drains me, too much power and too fast. He clenched his fists. Then take mine. Take whatever you need. Her glowing hand pressed against his chest. If I do, you will not survive. The sacrifice. The spire roared louder, cracks splitting its surface. The invaders closed in, weapons raised. Time was gone. Lyra's eyes softened as she whispered, Every bond has a price. Before Ethan could stop her, she pushed the fire of the bond fully into him. The world vanished in light. Ethan screamed as power surged through his veins, burning, tearing, remaking him. His body glowed, brighter than the spire, brighter than the ships. With one final roar, he drove the energy into the black tower. The spire shattered in an explosion of fire and light. The canyon shook, the sky split. Invaders were ripped apart, their ships scattering like ash in the wind. Silence followed. The enemy was gone, but so was Lyra. The farewell Ethan fell to the sand, gasping, his body shaking with the bond's fire. Lyra lay beside him, her glow fading, her silver hair still. He cradled her in his arms. No. No, stay with me. Please. Her lips curved into the faintest smile. For the first time, she whispered his name. Ethan. And then the light in her eyes went out. Ethan bowed his head, his tears falling on her still face. Around them, humans and aliens stood in silence, their weapons lowered, their hatred forgotten. They had all seen what she had done, what they had done. Together, the hook, a new legend. Ethan rose slowly, his chest still burning with the bond's fire. He carried Lyra's body in his arms, standing beneath the broken sky. Human soldiers whispered, "He fought with her." Alien hunters murmured, "He destroyed the dark." For the first time, both sides saw not enemy or traitor, but something else. Ethan lifted his gaze to the stars, his voice steady, heavy with promise. "They'll come back. And when they do, they'll find me waiting." The bond was not gone, it lived in him now. The price had been paid, the war had only just begun.